Hey, how's it going? Dranus here. Welcome back to Grimdawn. This time, with another pet build for you. We are the Ritualist now. This is a combination between the Necromancer and the Shaman. And we have spoke about this one a little bit in my older videos. But now, we've reached a little bit of the end game here. So, let's have a bit of a deep dive into this build. The items I'm using, the sets I'm using. So first of all, as I said, this is again a pet build. But this one is a little bit different. Because we now use a lot of items that can summon extra pets. So as an example, we do have the summon Eldritch Talon here. This is from the set we're using. And this pet is pretty strong. We also have the Summon Chill main this time, where this amulet doesn't really benefit both of our masteries. It is a pretty nice pet to pick up. It's the Chill main, this one here, and it deals decent damage. I also believe it has a little ability that will apply to all of your other pets. But yeah, it is a pretty good one. We are also using the Conjure Primal Spirit. Usually I'm not a big fan of temporary pets, but this pet is pretty strong, and especially if you have a lot of poison damage extra. And since we're using the Blightfiend, we do have a lot of poison damage extra. So the Conjure Primal Spirit here is really a no-brainer to pick up. We also have of course the skeletons again, also the Reap Spirit. And we have the Briarthorn in combination with the Mortrogan's Pack, since we are Shaman with Necromancer combined. We do have a second Blightfiend. This is because of the sets we're using, and this will allow us to have one more up at any time. So yeah, this will especially help with all our bonus items that will increase the damage for the Blightfiend. And I personally am a big fan of items that will increase your maximum summon limit. The rotation we're using is most of the time sending your pets in, then cast a Bone Harvest to activate our Shepherd Skull, and cast your Reap Spirit, while also sometimes casting your Call of the Grave. If things are getting hard, summon the Conjure Primal Spirit, and stay a bit back, and most of the time everything will die. We are at the Steps of Torment at the moment. This is just my personal preference. I have mentioned this before, but I really like the undead possibilities. I also see a Nemesis here. I totally skipped this one. This is available to us since we have the Nemesis status with the Arcovian Undead. Also try to summon the Conjure Primal Spirit again. Yeah, as you can see, some of the skeletons will die here. I'm still looking for ways to increase my defense for my pets with this build. But the damage is decent. So yeah, the most of the Nemesis will be doable. But just make sure to stay a little bit back. Now the Blizzards are from my devotions. They're also pretty nice because since we are Shaman Necromancer, we don't have any access to any decent cold damage. So with the devotions you can spread your damage more. And I know some people don't really like this, but I have experienced that having your damage a little bit spread can really help you with certain enemies. So if you encounter a hard boss, it is really important to keep moving and stay out of the ground effects. And especially with the Steps of Torment, this boss is a pretty good indicator if you can handle the Steps of Torment later on. Now, as I said, this build is a little bit squishier than the other build we have covered with the Unstoppable Army. And as I said before, this is mostly because we lack a little bit of endgame auras that will give us a little bit of defense or a little bit of offense for us and the pets. So let's hop into the Shaman first and then continue to the Necromancer here. Because the Shaman most of the time requires you to invest a lot of points into the mastery bar, we only picked up 3 skills here. So we picked up the Blightfiend, of course, just for the massive damage, also the Ground Slam, a little bit of control, and the Emboldering Presence, just because this one is an aura and it will affect all of our pets, and also all of the extra summons. The Mothrogan's Pact, of course, with the Heart of the Wild and also the Oak Skin. Yeah, if you are picking up Shaman and you are focused on pets, I can really recommend picking up the Mothrogan's Pact. And it will offer a lot of defense, but also a lot of damage. Now, how to divide your points here is a little bit up to you. I personally would recommend leveling up this one completely and see what things you need for the other 2 skills, because you get a lot of items with plus skills late game. So yeah, most of the time it will be alright to invest a little bit less points into this and invest them into the Emboldering Presence or the Conjure Primal Spirit. Now, the Conjure Primal Spirit here is a little bit different, and personally I am, as I said before, I'm not the biggest fan of the temporary pets, but this one is pretty decent and can really help you with your damage output. So if you're going Shaman and you have points to spend, I would rather put them into Conjure Primal Spirit in this instance instead of the Heart of the Wild or the Oak Skin. The Primal Bond, I wouldn't recommend this one because you got the Necromancer, so you got a way better option than this exclusive skill. So I would recommend skipping this one. Now, if you start with this particular combination, I would recommend leveling up the Necromancer first and later on pick up the Shaman. This is just purely because you need to have 10 points to unlock the Summon Blightfiend. And if you don't have unlocked this one at the start, it can be a bit hard to focus down bosses and things like that. I would recommend picking up the Necromancer first with the Raised Skeletons here. And pick up the Raised Skeletons as soon as possible. Same goes for the Undead Legion and pick up Will of the Crypt. Level up this one before this one, but you need to pick up this one once to reach this point. The Bone Harvest, with this character I decided to pick up this just purely for the bonus to all pets. I have a lot of plus skills with the Soul Harvest here, so we got it only on level 1. But we got a lot of plus skills, so now it's level 11. The Summon Blightfiend, also really important, and this one is especially important now because we have a second Blightfiend summon, as we can see on the left side here. So yeah, this one I can recommend leveling up to the maximum level. The Rotting Fumes, I am not entirely sure about this skill, because it will generate additional threat. Yeah, I don't really need this because we have a lot of pets. But you can decide to pick this one up fully, especially since we have a second Blightfiend here. The Blight Burst, we spoke about this one also before. A really good skill, but only if you have points to spend at the end. But since we have a second summon, I would recommend leveling up this one, especially with this build, as soon as possible. Call of the Grave, also nice to pick up once, just a massive bonus to your pets. It can be skipped if you want, but since we have a lot of plus skills, 1 point couldn't hurt. The Master of Death, now, as we said, the Primal Bond here is way worse than the Master of Death, so I would always recommend picking up the Master of Death over the Primal Bond, especially if you're pet focused. And we picked up the Reap Spirit again. The Reap Spirit, as we said before, is pretty strong. And I really like the skill. It is also a temporary pet, but since it can be applied to our main attack, we can cast this pretty often. Now, the devotions, a lot here we will know from the videos I've made before. But we have a little bit of a different pickup here. We picked up the Blizzard. I just picked this one up because, as I said before, I really like to spread a little bit of my damage. And I know some people don't really like this, but I am personally a big fan of this. Especially if you are still making your character together. And once you get all of your items and all of your gear pieces and the puzzle is complete, you can probably respec this. But yeah, I picked this one up because I really wanted to have a little bit more of a variation in my skills. The other things, as I said, we have seen before. So the Tree of Life, also the Keeper of Waters for the cleansing waters, Shepherd's Skull of course with the Bone Harvest, and of course the Elemental Storm with the raised skeletons, because we have a lot, so we will do a lot of damage with them. Now if we take a look at the gear, as I said, I'm still building this character, so we have a couple of good items but also a couple of very bad ones. So my weapon, I'm using the one-handed mace Cryptstalker. I'm still looking for a better one, but at the moment it is pretty okay. It gives me +1 skills in Necromancer, also the Reap Spirit is pretty nice, and the bonus to all pets are decent. And especially the physical damage converted to Aether damage. I think Aether damage is better than physical damage here. And we get plus Aether damage for my pets overall. Also the Cryptstalker buff, it can be okay, but since we are pet build, I don't really use this one. So I'm still looking for a better one. But for now, it is okay. And especially if you're still leveling up, it is a decent weapon. The rings I have, we won't go over them because they are really, really bad at the moment. So as I said, I'm still looking for better ones. I'm wearing the Mythical Beast color Scowl here, just for the Call of the Beast. But I'm also still looking for a better one here, because we are not using the set. So I think there are better options for this one. Now the neck, it is a pretty nice one, gives +1 to skills and Shaman. And also the Chill Mane, as we have spoken about before. The Chill Mane has decent health, but is also pretty fast. And this is especially what I like about this pet. It is a really fast pet. And this has also made me wonder if I should replace this one to the Chill Mane maybe. Furthermore, bonus to all pets is decent. And also the armor increase is decent. Now I'm also using components on all of my gear. This is just basically to get my resistance up a little bit. So see for yourself what components work for you. But I can recommend focusing on the resistances first. The Mythical Dreadguard. We have seen this one before. Skills in Necromancer, also Undead Legion and Soul Harvest. And we get decent bonus to all pets. I am also still looking for a better one here. But yeah, so far it is decent. Now the Ghol's Malice. This is an entirely new set for me, and this will allow us to summon a second Blightfiend. All of the other set bonuses are pretty nice, and we also have the ability to summon the Eldritch Talon. Now it is this pet, deals decent damage, also some poison damage and acid damage, and physical damage. And since we have the physical damage converted to Aether damage, we will deal only acid, poison and Aether damage. So this is pretty nice. The gloves, also from the Ghol's Malice set, but also decent plus skills. And we get the Conjure Eldritch Webweaver, 100% on critical attack. So this is just a little bit of an extra pet. Deals decent acid damage, also physical damage, but this will be converted to poison damage. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about these gloves. And gloves are pretty hard to come by, especially good pet gloves. The Graves, Fiend Flesh Graves, just decent, with the plus skills to Blight Burst and plus skills to Rotting Fumes. Also bonus to all pets. And we got the little bit of defensive damage absorption here. And this can really save you at times. Well, the medal, also from the Ghoul set. I can really appreciate the set here. So the bonus to acid damage is pretty okay. And also the vitality damage converted to acid damage is also nice. We also get flat chaos resistance, and this can really help you with your resistances, because chaos resistance can be a little bit hard to come by. So we got the Void Monster's Court here, but I am thinking about replacing this one with a better one with plus skills. We do get a lot of lightning resistance and vitality resistance. This will really help our pets to stay alive a bit longer. So let's have a look here at the resistances. So lightning, we got 80 lightning now. And also the vitality resistance is pretty nice. with 77. Yeah, the resistances can really hurt your pets. We have spoken about this before, but make sure to get them up all the way if you can. Eye of the Storm, the relic I'm using. It is a pretty nice one. +1 to all skills in Shaman, also the Storm Colors aura, and I'm personally a big fan of this because we have a lot of pets, so every aura will apply to all of them. The bands, yeah, I picked up the mythical Wildshorn Laggards, are pretty okay, because they give a lot of flat health, also a lot of defensive and a lot of resistances. They also give plus skills, so Emboldening Presence plus skills is pretty nice, and the Call of the Grave. And also the bonus to all pets are decent, and especially for pens, because pens are pretty hard to come by with the pet bonuses I have experienced. Also, don't forget to get your anti-venom salve on this one, because your acid and poison resistances will be a little bit hard to get to the maximum. So this will really help with this. The legendary chest armor, the Ghol's Malice again. This is same as before, just because of the set. The armor itself also gives poison acid resistance, chaos resistance, reduced stun duration and some flat health. So yeah, I'm personally a big fan of this one. I really like it. Also make sure to equip your gear with your components, as I said before, because this will really help you in your defensive, and you can really switch them around and see what components you really need and what components you can skip. Now on the chest armor I can always recommend picking up the Bindings of Bismiel with your pet build, because this will just give you a flat bonus to all pets, so more health and more damage. But yeah, this build is pretty nice. I'm, as I said, still looking for ways to improve this, because I am lacking a little bit of defense still. But I think we can get there if we try to pick up some more defensive skills maybe, or just some defensive gear. And I definitely can replace my rings here, but also the belt, I think. But yeah, this was an overview of my Ritualist build, so combination between the Necromancer and the Shaman. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and I see you in the next one. Bye.